Welcome everybody to another edition of TalkingWithHeroes.com talk show program. I am Bob Calvert, your host, and it's www.talkingwithheroes.com, and our online news site is thankyouforyourservice.us. And this is going to be a little bit of a different interview. I've been doing this for 5 years, been to Iraq 4 times, Afghanistan twice, just got back recently again from Iraq and Afghanistan. Most of the videos are now online, more to come. And I'm here though, right now at Fort Benning. Came out here a few days ago. I was with the 3rd ID, with Anna Sophie Hickson helping me in earlier this year, just a few months ago, in Khalisu, Iraq. And while I was over there, I found out they were having an event here at the Doughboy Stadium. And it was kind of a welcome home for the troops. Great job they did. It was a fun event. We did some really neat interviews, which you'll see very soon on YouTube. But in coming to Fort Benning, I had the opportunity to meet a different kind of soldier. And I say different kind because he's actually my brother.
The better looking one, of course.
Oh, hear that? See, he doesn't even let me finish here. We're going to have fun with this interview, folks. He is stationed here at Fort Benning. He is a captain, Captain Ted Calvert, and he's going to be deployed soon. We'll just say either Iraq or Afghanistan. And it's real exciting for me. It's a privilege. It's an honor. It always is a privilege and honor to interview another person in the military. But you know, when it's your brother, it just adds a whole new dimension to it. And sitting next to Ted is his wonderful wife, Brenda. Hi. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start out, Ted, I'm just going to ask you to share a little bit with the people watching, a little bit about yourself, and maybe also talk about how you were in the military once before, too.
I can do that. Hello, everyone. As my brother said, my name is Ted Calvert, and I work at Martin Army Community Hospital here at Fort Benning. And I spent actually 8.5 years in the Air Force as an enlisted man, and had almost a 14-year break in service when I felt God was really leading me to come back into the military, and that I still had some amount of service that I could provide to this country. Perhaps one of the things that was the final deciding factor was actually the death of our father. A couple of years ago, my dad served during World War II in the Navy, and that's a generation that is just going away very quickly, and the Lord kind of laid it upon my heart that my time serving this nation wasn't done. And you know, we are a nation at war, and as evidenced by just a few days ago with packages being sent in the mail and bombs and this and that. So you know, freedom is something that is not free, and there is a price that is to be paid for that. And I join the long list of heroes that have gone before me and desire to serve this country as best I can.
Kind of in the Air Force, you were trained in a lab, right?
Yes, I
you
was.
went out, you had your own labs, you worked for labs, and you ended up selling cars. Which
yes, I did that too.
You did very well. But now you're back in, now you're in the Army, and you're at the lab there. Yes,
I am. I'm a lab officer and just loving it. We're having a great time out here at Fort Benning. This is a wonderful place. We're loving it in the Army. I can't say enough good things. Life is really good. God has been really good and blessed us greatly.
You might mention that my brother was also a youth pastor.
Yes, it was. And
so now we're not going to say where you're going, but you're going to be working in a hospital doing what you do.
Yes.
Why don't you just talk about that? Just
okay,
go into any detail.
Well, actually, you probably don't want me to go into too much detail because it's going to gross your listeners out because of what I do. Because in the military and the civilian world, it's kind of almost the same job. Basically, if it comes out of a human body, we test it. I will not go into the details of what comes out of the human bodies, but we provide information so the medical providers can adequately care for patients, whether they are soldiers, civilians, dependents, retirees, and we just basically provide healing touch to patients that are in desperate need of that.
Okay, Brenda, you have served yourself. So why don't you talk about that, and then just you're on a different side of the military now as a military wife with your husband getting ready to deploy. But let's go back a little bit. How long did you serve?
Okay. I served actually active duty in the United States Air Force for 10 years as an RN. And when Ted went back into the military and I got out, I've had an opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom. And that has been completely awesome. I loved my experience in the United States Air Force, but I really, really love my new job now as a stay-at-home mother. And I love supporting my husband in being a military Army wife. And the Army is just incredible. There's a huge camaraderie with people, and it's been just an awesome experience.
Now you're also helping other wives too, right? Other or spouses.
Well, I would say that I'm helping other wives, but they are also helping me.
Right.
I have some seriously incredible women that I have met. These Army wives have just been through so much, and I'm so proud of them. And I've done quite a bit with our chapel here on post at Fort Benning. We do Crossroads, which is a Protestant service, and our church is trying to do a lot more of the home-based groups, and because of our nature in the military, how everybody's deploying, frequent moves, it's many times hard to find that continuity because somebody's coming and going. So currently we are in a home builders couples group for deployment readiness, and that has been very, very helpful. And I actually got together with some of the women at the church, and we organized that to actually be working on it prior to the deployment, because even though I was active duty for 10 years and he's already done 11, we've never had a deployment. So I know it's going to have new challenges for us.
Okay. One of the things I like to do is shout outs, but I don't have a lot of opportunities to get shout outs out before somebody deploys. And we have family that you might want to say hi to, and friends, people at church here.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Good.
And since, I've kept this nice and straight and been a very good little brother here, I'd like to give a shout out to my brother Bob. No. Also, yes, I would. I support what you're doing. You know that. Also to our sister Betty and Raymond and
Brother Raymond.
Brother Raymond, not a sister. Boy, he'd get upset at me about that.
He would.
Yeah, he's been kind of depressed anyway since the Yankees kind of, that's a whole different story.
Right.
Also to Tina and Johnny and Julie and Kenny, and Jim, Julie's husband. That's our sister Betty's children, and also we cannot forget Adrian. That's Bob's daughter, and then of course our children Cindy and Jason and Charisma, who is around here somewhere, and Robert. We just shout out to all of them, and I guess am I going down the family tree too far here, or do I need to?
No, it's.
And we can't forget. Oh, Mom, of course.
Yeah, of
You
course.
can't. You got to always remember Mom, definitely, and of course Adrian's husband Keith, who also
Yes.
has proudly served this country with two tours.
Two long deployments.
Two long
15-month deployments. One from Riley, one from Carson.
How's that for some good shout outs?
That's good.
At least I didn't shout at you, so that's
Okay.
good.
So now, obviously I have some hurdles to overcome, but planning on going back over next year in 2011, and one of the stops will be where you're at. And this has kind of been in the works for a while too, so it'll be interesting to be over there with you, have you describe what you're doing, and kind of take people on a tour like I like to do, and then do shout outs again.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, I appreciate that. Is there anything else you would like to add, either one of you?
I do want to add some things that Fort Benning is doing at the chapel. They're also getting involved with Bridges to Healing series, which deal with combat trauma and healing, and also When War Comes Home. And these are Christian-based books that are looking at some of these issues that many family members are having to deal with after deployments and with any kind of injuries, and really just the emotional coming back home and reintegration of families. So this is just really awesome, and we're going to be doing that at the chapel as well.
Right.
So I
Oh,
think
wait,
there's
wait,
something
wait,
to be
wait,
said
wait.
on that.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit, take the mic from you. I got one other thing I forgot to get a shout out on. One of the things that I have just been truly blessed by here is the high quality of individuals that Brenda and I have both met. And I would just like to shout out to our good friends, Brian and Brenda Miller. And Brian is just the best friend I've never had in my life, and I just am so grateful for them, and I know they're going to watch over Brenda while I can, and that's just awesome. But there we go. Now you can have the mic back. Just kidding. No.
That's okay. And I've met many of your friends too. I've been where you work, and it's funny that some of the people that I interviewed in Iraq with Third ID, they have their children on the football team, 5 and 8 year olds that you coach.
Yeah, the Jets. Yeah, got to get a shout out to the Jets. All you Jets parents, not the New York Jets. We're talking about the Fort Benning Jets, 6 to 8 year olds, and they are just rocking the field right now. We have some awesome players, and we're just having a great time out there.
Well, you'll be in my prayers, obviously.
Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of people watching will keep you in the prayers. We'll get you, make sure we get you the care packages so you can get a lot of that stuff over to the children that you'll probably be taking care of. And anything you need, obviously, Brenda, you know, I may be in Colorado Springs, but I can still help. So I want to thank you. Thank you very much for taking your time to come on with me on this very special program, that's for sure. Well, folks, once again, I'm Bob Calvert, your host on TalkingWithHeroes.com. First time ever I've been able to interview a family member getting ready to be deployed. And so I want to mention, I said I was at Fort Benning. Soon there'll be interviews we did with some of the Third ID who we were with in Iraq at the Doughboy Stadium football game. And also Bill Wisniewski with number5jump.com. And I have worked out details. We're going to be coming out with a series of video books as fundraisers for support groups, veterans groups, churches, everybody that wants to help get our troops' stories out. It's real important that the country hear the great job our men and women are doing in Iraq and Afghanistan. From them, boots on the ground where they served. And we're going to be doing that. We'll have some big announcements very shortly on TalkingWithHeroes.com. So I want to thank you all. God bless you. God bless America.